Hello. So, last night, I finished the construction of my, I should say configuration, my Zcash rig. Well, take that back. Zcash based rig, because I'm actually, gonna switch it to Zencash. Z and not ZEC. It's slightly more profitable, and it's more anonymous, secure. But it's kind of cool because I got mine done last night, and so did a guy I've been helping out just through like WhatsApp. He was in a mining group on Facebook that I was in. Someone was trying to give him some like really bad advice. And I was like, don't listen to him. Like, I think he said, like, I have 10 grand to spend on a mining rig. Like, what should I do? I don't want to invest in coins, so don't tell me to just invest and hold. I want to build a mining rig. So I messaged him and was like, yo, I was in a similar predicament. This is, like, what I chose, the cards I chose to use, and about how many souls I get. And, you know, if you need any help or any questions, feel free to, like, reach out to me. And, he private messaged me, and he was like, you know, honestly, like, I'm pretty new to this, and I hate to, like, start out this way, but could you send me a shopping list of things I need, to get this started? And, I was like, for sure. So, like, I took a couple minutes and just, like, went through my rig kind of and looked at what type of inventory it took, you could say. And then I messaged him and I told him everything, and he got right to it and started ordering his parts. Well, it was a little bit, you know, I guess he looked at the stuff I was telling him to buy, and he probably did a little bit of his own research, and then he messaged me back the next morning, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do almost the same setup you have. I'm gonna get a different motherboard, but other than that, I like what you're doing, so I'm gonna order everything, and then I'll probably be messaging you along the way. So he did that, and it took him like about 2 weeks, I want to say, maybe a week and a half, because of all the issues he was having, and not with like getting things configured. You know, he was able. I sent him some links to some Zcash forums that had a lot of really helpful information when I was first getting started up, and told him, you know, as much as I can like regurgitate this info, it might be easier for you if you just have this guide to look at on their forum, and they'll be able to help kind of show you how to set it up in Linux, because he didn't want to use Windows. And I told him that he was going to get an extra about 30 souls per card, 35 sometimes, depending on what his cards were reading at from stock, when he used Windows instead of Linux, because he could overclock. And so after he was going to set it up in Windows or Linux, he decided to scratch that and set it up in Windows. So we did that. He got everything plugged in, and he was having cards not register on his computer in his control panel. So at one point he had like one bad riser. He found out he has one bad PCIe slot on the motherboard. He had, I think, 4 different cards that were bad. This guy only bought 8 cards, so I mean 4 of his 8 cards he had to send back and get replaced. So I think Zotac and Aorus need to do a little bit better job with their quality department, their testing department, before they ship things out, because that's not the first time that I've had someone I've been helping have to send their GPUs back, and it's not the first time I've ever had to. That's definitely an issue. But after he got that sorted out, he ran into another small thing where it was like one of his power supplies was a 6 to 8 instead of an 8 and 8 like pin adapter for the power supply to the GPU, and so he like made his own makeshift 2 additional ports on it to connect to the 6, so it was an 8. But by the end of the night, he actually finished before I did. Mainly because I was spending most of my time on my phone helping him. But at the end of the night, he was all finished, feeling like a boss. 8 1080 Ti's running on an Asus. What is it? I think he has it's a A270 motherboard, and I believe he's using an i7 with 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM and I'm trying to think, I don't know, but he's got like a 250 something gig M.2 1000 watt EVGA platinum power supply, a 1600 watt platinum, no, it's an EVGA 1600 watt platinum power supply, and a Corsair platinum 100 watt or 1000 watt. And be careful with this. He actually texted me this morning. He thought he popped a breaker, but the kilowatts that he was using to monitor his power consumption was a 15 amp kilowatt meter, so he actually blew the meter, not anything in his wall. So be careful. Make sure that when you're setting up rigs that are powerful like that and power hungry, that you have 20 amp circuits. You should honestly have more just in case. Like I know I had a buddy who's an electrician come over, and he put in a 400 amp circuit in my mudroom, my laundry area. So I will have no issues plugging anything in off that circuit. I don't have to worry about the other things that run off it through my house, because one of the shitty things about my home was that it was poorly wired when they did their electric. I have whole rooms that are on the same circuit, and other floors that I have a circuit that powers all 3 of my floors in a certain area. I don't know, it's just, they have a really funky configuration. It took us a few hours to look at everything and see how we were going to wire and where the best place to put, considering where my router is, and how we were going to get the wiring down to where I needed it. Because my basement's finished, it was pre-finished, so there's like a gap between my ceiling and my floor. I can't just drill straight through it and drop a cord through there, or an Ethernet cable. So I actually went through my vent and then just pinned it against the wall, plugged it into a port that's wired throughout the whole house. So now I have it wherever I want. But yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of, playing around sometimes to figure out the best way to get things working, and it may not at first be the most visually pleasing, but whatever works, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the rig that I have right now is making me about $44 a day.